And we are live. Guys, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Bassin Magazine Podcast. Bassin Magazine, guys. Bassin Magazine is the official magazine of the Weekend Angler. My name is James. I'm going to be your host. With me tonight, I have Brad Yoel of Bassin Magazine. And the first thing I'd like to talk about, last week we had the lady on from Natalie from the Texas Sharelunker program or the Toyota Sharelunker program, whatever you want to call it. Man, in the Sharelunker program, it's making Texas bass go nuts. These bass are on steroids, guys. Either on steroids or they're eating Papa John's pizza three meals a day. I don't know. Go ahead.
I was super glad to have her on, Jay. I know we got a lot of feedback with her and her explaining the Sharelunker program and how it works. Anything 13 pounds and over, and throughout the rest of the year, those smaller fish that might not be 13 pounds, but they still study and release and all that. So that was an amazing program to have her on.
It was, and she is so knowledgeable and so well spoken. Geez, she just rattled off that stuff like it was nothing. But yeah. OHIV, guys, 17.03 pounds. And we're talking very recently. And Toledo Bend, 15.67 pounds. And that was during a tournament. I mean, most of the tournaments I fished, I didn't even bring 15.67 pounds to the scales. I don't know about you, Brad, but that's a good basket, isn't it?
That's one fish. Yeah, that's amazing. Talk about a kicker. That's two kickers in one fish. You need another kicker just to get your 5. That's a great fish. I don't know how the tournament works if they get to keep that fish alive and then call Sharelunker afterwards. But Sharelunker, like Natalie was saying, they'll go and take the DNA from that fish and breed that fish, and then they'll take that fish back to Toledo Bend and let the angler that caught it release it. So it goes back in the same water, and I just can't say enough about having Natalie on the show and explaining how all that process worked.
Then later on in the year, they bring the fingerlings back to Toledo Bend.
They bring the fingerlings back and put them there also, yeah.
So then you're going to have thousands of superior. I mean, this is eugenics at its finest, guys.
Yeah.
You get, geez.
Yeah, no human growth hormone needed.
No.
They're breeding the bass right and doing it right. That's 2 big catches, and that's just 2 that we know of, part of the Sharelunker. I mean, that's pretty good. So.
Yeah, and also OHIV definitely has had a lot of Sharelunkers taken out of it.
Yeah, OHIV's had big fish for a long time. The lake did get really low, so as it's filled back up over the past couple of years, I'm really glad to see that there's some huge quality fish in that lake.
So where is OHIV in the state? Do you know?
I can look. I think it's pretty central. I was gonna pull up a picture real fast if it loads. I've been working on the magazine and my computer, all my hard drive's full, so
I bet it is.
Yeah. My cache data or whatever you want to call it is full right now. Hold on one second. Man.
Okay, when you're doing that, I'm gonna go get some.
Okay, I'm gonna. So I'm trying to pull up that OHIV 17-pounder, guys. I want you to see that fish, and I'm also looking up Google Maps where OHIV is in relation to the state of Texas. So, Natalie was on last week. She's out by Lake Fork, and she gives a 24-hour, always monitored phone number, and they come immediately and pick up that fish alive. So this photo that I'm getting ready to show you is definitely alive. Guys, this is a big, huge fish out of OHIV. Let me turn that light off.
Look at that.
Yeah.
My goodness. Wow.
This is Jason Conn Fishing. Jason Conn, Conn Fishing. I'm not sure if he was the angler. I can tell you real fast if he was. He is a guide, and he caught it on an A-rig. That's the 8th heaviest bass ever in Texas. And he put all his story on how he did it on Facebook. They weighed her 3 different times. It was 1710 on his scale. The store that weighed it was 1703, and that's what they all mutually agreed on was the 1703 weight because they put her in a tank at that time, and she'd probably lost some weight. So it is a share lunker fish, so the state of Texas has that, and everything we learned last week will happen with that fish, and he'll be called again to go release her after spawn and egg.
It was also Bill Cook of Houston who caught the 15.67 pounder on Toledo Bend.
Awesome.
And it says that he also caught that on an Alabama rig.
On an A-rig.
Jeez. And also that 15.67 pound, it broke the 22-year-old lake record previously held by a 15.32 fish.
Wow.
15.32 pound fish caught 22 years ago. And Cook is 78 years old.
So I'm on Texas Share Lunker program, Toyota Share Lunker program, and another fish that was caught was 1322 out of Lake Allen Henry. So he just made the legacy program for the Toyota. And there's his fish.
Wow.
And that is Ross Gomez out of Plainview. I'm going to blow your mind with one of these fish. I just have to find it. OHIV produced another one this week at 1306. She was in really deep water, so they aired her out and let her go immediately, even though it's on the Share Lunker program. They saved that fish by letting it go. So a 1305 out of OHIV on February 5th. And you want a story, Jay? Here's a great story. Do not adjust your screens, guys. This is 2 double-digit bass out of OHIV, 14.76 and 3.31. Same day, 2 guys together.
Wow.
Yeah. What I was looking for. Let me. I want to look for one more because I'm going to blow your mind with this story. But I might not be able to find it. It might not even be on their Share Lunker page.
Wow.
A Share Lunker was caught this week on a crappie jig.
Crappie jig?
Yeah, so a 13-plus pound bass. I can't find it on their page. I should have looked earlier today, but I was saving it for the podcast. But, yeah, so a 13-plus pound bass was caught on a crappie jig today or this week. That's part of the Share Lunker program. So that's pretty awesome. Pretty cool. That's, guys, you can go to Toyota Share Lunker on Google, Texas Share Lunker program.
Clear Lake.
Clear Lake?
No, that was in 2013.
I
just looked that up, and it said in 2013 there.
Yeah, another one got caught this week. I can't find it. I'll go to their website, TexasShareLunker.com, guys, or Share Lunker program on Facebook if you want to see these fish. It's part of the Texas Department of Wildlife, and they always photograph them and do everything that Natalie said last week. So Amazing news. Great to have Natalie on. Guys, we're going to bring her back after she's out of her busy season. We really appreciate her being on and battling the storms last week. So I'm excited to get her back when she can take a breath and share more information with us by joining.
Well, you got some pretty cool fishing lures recently, didn't you?
I did. Duo, great friends of Bassin Magazine. We try to we're working on the rod and reel issue right now, so I was kind of going to save these until the bait issue, but you're going to be able to subscribe to Bassin and see more in-depth parts of these lures that I got. Duo is the inventor of the spy bait, and I'm going to turn my brightness off here of my camera. Guys, spy baiting. That's a spin bait 80. This is my absolute favorite color. I'm just going to go ahead and open it. I wasn't going to. And the hooks are very sharp, straight out of the package. Guys, that's the Prism gill. And you can see how much movement that blade has on it. Straight out of the package. The blade in the back spins really well. The G-Fix is 62 Alpha and the 72 Alpha Aaron Martin's bait. Guys, spy baiting is coming alive for you people in the north that have smallmouth and stubborn smallmouth, and they eat the spy bait. It's a very specific technique from the line to the rod. Jay has one there. From the line to the rod to how you fish it to the countdown of which model you're using. It is all very, very, very specific. But once you figure it out, hold on because the big smallies are coming.
Also, I've caught speckled trout down on the coast with these things. And it's also not something that you only catch smallmouths with, You guys, if you have clear water up north or down south, you can catch largemouth on these too.
Largemouth will eat them as well. Yes. That's another thing I missed was the water clarity. It depends on the water. You can't. I don't think it's made for a muddy water. It's definitely a reaction bite. But once you learn that technique, you'll always have one tied on. We had Damian Tao on a couple months back. Damian talked about the G87 crankbait. Guys,
look at that.
Guy's 22 feet with that bill, and it's not a long line. It doesn't climb like this. This lip, you can see on this lip, it's bent. There's a perfect picture of it right there. It scoops, and this thing is made to dive and then be retrieved. It bounces off wood, submerged timber, submerged brush piles. The thing I love about this bait, and I used it before Damien, I've used it since I've talked to him, he gave me a little bit more confidence, is where these treble hooks are on the back of this. And when this thing hits submerged timber, it kicks that treble hook away while still swimming.
Jeez. So I have a question about that. So when this thing when you're retrieving it, does it go like this? Is it straight up and down?
No, I think you crank it hard and it comes straight down, and then you depending on your reel that you're using, the line that you're using, I believe that if you slow it down, it will sit sideways and crank down.
Okay.
It's made for deep water, 22 foot depth. I'm on 12-pound line, I believe. So that's the G87 from Duo. There is no other deep diving crankbait that gets as deep as fast as this bait. I will challenge you and take it to see.
Wow.
So, Woo Dream is a fairly new USA company. They have balsa crankbaits. This is a number 2 balsa crankbait that they have. The finish is amazing. It has a circuit board square bill. Let's see if I can get it up close.
Now, who makes that?
This is Woo Dream, and it's called the No Name Crank. Great finish on it. Sharp hooks. I'm not going to guess a brand of how sharp that is. Woo Dream, right there. It's a balsa wood with the circuit board square bill.
And that looked a lot like this that David Swinside sent me.
I believe so. Same thing.
See that? One thing, it doesn't have any rattle to it.
No, it's solid balsa wood. So this is going to crank down. You're going to crank it down, and when you stop, it's going to float straight up, being that balsa wood, and it's going to sit horizontal. That circuit board is going to bounce off rocks and timber. You're not going to break that circuit board. Tuned straight out of the box, and sharp hooks, amazing. Woo Dream, No Name Crank. No Name Crank. What's the name of that crankbait? I don't know. No name. That's how you remember.
What I like about this one is I like orange bellies.
Yep. It's 2 craw patterns that we have right there. Here in the, well, you're further south than I am, but
yeah,
that's a good color. We have a lot of crawfish that the fish feed on, and is a natural bait. So,
if you look at those cypress trees, that's all you can see is they're just lined with crawfish.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's why these fish just get so fat. They just certain times of the year they sit there and eat it before their shells get really hard. They sit there and they just eat them up.
I know that here you can catch them out of the creeks and the river mouth, and you'll catch a bass and put it in a live well, and you'll catch another fish and put it in a live well, and it's got the other one spit up crawdads already.
Yeah. They are always spitting up crawfish.
So I am an Okie, true and true. I love fishing. I'm just one of you guys that like fishing. This next duo bait, I'm excited to use because I watched a video early today on this bait to see how to rig it. And they are rigging this wacky style, but the movement that this bait has, even though it's a skin bait, when you lift it, if you'll just barely twitch your spinning rod, just like a wacky rig, you're going to have so much movement. But back to my Okie comment, I'm going to butcher this. It's called Nomasi Wakasagi. Duo is a Japanese bait company.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Nomasi Wakasagi. Guys, this thing, I'm going to take this out of the package. I'm going to leave the hook out of it, though. It comes with the wacky rig hook. I'm going to see if you can see this better. This is a soft plastic bait.
Wow.
And I'm going to show you the action that this thing has, how soft this plastic is. That's the thing about duo baits. Their V-tail shad is one of my favorite baits that I drop shot with.
Look at that.
Yeah. And you're going to, it has a hole.
Stop.
It has a pre-hole. I can see it there. You can see it just to the right. There it is. That's where your hook goes in. There's the hole. You can see it right there. That's where your hook goes in. And that bait, it sinks. So you're going to do it like this, and that tail is going to swim. Even if you stop it, even if you have, it comes with a pre-rig down here. I would put my drop shot sinker on that so it's set above the water and just, man, I'm getting some more of these. This is a pretty amazing bait. I think this is a great smallmouth bait, and I think that the largemouth are going to eat it as well. Around docks, if you have docks that have solid pilings, any standing timber, trees, a forest, something like that. I even think Lake Fork bass are going to eat this all together. Nomasi Wakasagi from Duo Baits. One more time.
Here's something he sent me too. Look at this thing, Brad.
That is a big old glide bait. Does it
Something
have
I'm learning, the rattle?
The packaging?
No, it was just sent in a regular plastic case.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't in, but
it
you
might
can
not be available yet.
see what that says?
Corman, Duo Corman.
And it says deprive right there.
Deprive, okay. How many joints does that have? 3 joints? Oh, there we go.
Actually, 3 sections, 2 joints.
Yeah.
You can see it. This is crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I'd love to run this over a grass bed,
Yeah, it's real slow, and you could give it a twitch and make it go side to side.
Oh, yeah.
That is nice. Thanks to the 2-jointed body section, the lure performs a seductive S-curving action. It also creates the ever-important timing to bite with its irregular action. So you'd be able to jerk that and give it a twitch and make that thing move.
Yeah, see that, guys? Look at that action.
Yeah. One of the things, you have a 3.8 inch. I think we talked about this last time when we went over some of the baits that you got. The wriggle crawler. This is a 2.8 bait. I'm going to show you the back. I'm going to separate out, and I'm going to leave my hand so that you can see. 2.8 inches long.
2.8.
2.8. There's the color. Cinnamon blue.
This is a 3.8.
The wriggle crawler. These are super exciting. 24 in a pack. Shrimp formula on it. 2.8 inch. These are cinnamon blue, but man, you talk about a drop shot.
Are you going to drop shot those?
I'm going to drop shot these. I can't imagine. I mean, the action through the package is great. So I think drop shotting these, or maybe Texas rig with a 1/16 bullet, even maybe lighter, in creeks and creek mouths, clear creeks that flow, like Ozark Mountain type. I think that's going to be a killer bait on those finesse fish.
Here's something too that they make. Speaking of drop shotting,
yeah, the Thunder Shad. I have watermelon seed. Yours is out. I like that clear. These are 3 inch. Are yours a 3 inch? Man, that glare is horrible, isn't it?
yes.
A 3-inch thunder shad. And what's cool about these, Jay, is on the tail, it has a T. Can you show a close-up of your tail? If you hold it still.
I don't know if it can hold still.
I know. There's the tail. And so with that, see how they go towards the front of the bait, Jay? That's going to make that tail swim any movement's going to make that tail move because it's against the force of the water when you pull it to you. You know,
just think of that, guys. Yeah, it's drop shot in this thing. I mean, this end is almost perfect. It gets, it's going to sit like this in the water. Oh my goodness.
Duo's plastic is amazing plastic. I don't know what they're doing different, but again on that line of drop shotting is I showed you the wriggle crawler. Well, this is the wriggle stick, and it is a fat style Cinco bait, but look at the curves on all those baits. Which is going to, again, when you move that bait through the water, you're going to push water because it's all curved. And they are super fat baits. I think the Wacky Rig one of these with a nail weight in the end of it, it doesn't even say they're 4-inch, but it doesn't say they're scented. It doesn't say how much one bait weighs, but, you know, for the people that throw Wacky Rigs without a weight in their bait, this is really a heavy bait, and you might not have to weight it near as much, saving lead and keeping it out of the water. Back to the wriggle crawler real quick. They do make them larger too, 5.8-inch wriggle crawler.
Yes, that's what I have. And you know, Brett, I actually did catch fish skin hooking that and weightless Wacky rigging it.
Oh, you did? So you had your hook in the middle or out on the end?
In the middle.
In the middle. And that's what Jay fished a tournament last weekend, everybody, and caught fish. So, you know, he said, well, they weren't the biggest, but I said, hey, at least you didn't zero. So
no, I didn't zero because of the wiggle crawler, you know?
Yeah. So you caught fish on the wriggle crawler. These 5.8 come 15 to a pack. It's the Duo plastic again. Guys, I can't tell you how soft this plastic is. It's amazing. So, on that is the Duo Realis Boost Star Wake. This is a great swim bait. I love these swim baits. I'm going to go ahead and open this just to show you guys.
How are you going to rig that? How are you going to rig that, Brad?
Imagine, so, hey, I'll throw Mustad a drop out there. Mustad makes a head that has eyes on it, and it's curved at the end, and it butts up to the head of the swim bait. Absolutely perfect. And the hook's going to come out through the top. So imagine a crappie jig for all the people that can't imagine this Mustad hook. Hey, let me find this Mustad hook while I'm telling you. So,
you know, I was actually thinking about using an underspin on it, you know?
You absolutely could use an underspin on it, especially in cold water right now in the winter. I think that's a good idea as well, because that's what I was going to show you about this bait. Where is the Mustad head that I'm talking about? I can't even think of what they're called right now. You could use a weighted swim bait hook with this also, with a screw eye. Sure. So you're going to screw in the head and, you know, poke the hook through the top. That wouldn't be a bad choice either. And maybe what I have for Mustad is old and they don't make them anymore because I don't see them. But imagine a crappie hook, if you will. It has a lead head on the with the eye on it. What I want to talk about on these baits, though, it's not just a swim bait. It's not round. It's more of a triangle shape. I'm gonna try to hold this so you can see. It has a triangle shaped body. There's much better right there. And it has these fins on the bottom.
Well, yes, I have seen those fins.
Yeah.
I have the same stuff, and I just could not wait. Man, there's so many things you can do with that. You can Texas rig it. You can put it on an underspin and use it as a swim bait.
Yep.
Man, I would even put that thing on the back of a spinner bait if you really got adventuresome.
Yeah, it'd be a good spinnerbait tail. I really think any duo plastic would be a good spinnerbait tail, only because of the movement that their plastics have. It's just different, and sometimes that difference catches you fish.
Yes.
I think this triangle body is a big difference. What they have, these fins underneath are great. Lifelike action to this tail, and it has the slit in the top and the bottom. If you want to put it on a jig head, if you want to Texas rig it, you can keep that body straight with those two slits. So I love the swim bait on a screw eye hook because they last longer when I catch a fish.
Yes.
And if you have a screw eye hook on this instead of the lead head, it's gonna last longer and might give you more action. With the underspin, are you gonna get the rotation? I don't know. I'll have to throw it and find out. I like swim baits that kind of roll if I'm doing slow from one direction to the other, even if it's only a quarter of an inch movement under the water. I like that roll a little bit. But again, the duo plastic, I could talk forever on duo plastic just because I've caught so many fish on them, and I really think that difference helps.
I have some things I'd like to show here.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine in Louisiana makes Shongaloo Outdoor soft plastics. He gave me a couple this weekend when I was fishing with him. Right there, Shongaloo Outdoors at shongaloo.com, guys. This is the first kind of a beaver tail type thing, but I like for the waters down here, this is a good color.
Up here, that'd be a fantastic color. That's good for mud. That's good for crystal clear. Would you break those pinchers apart?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If I was punching, I might not.
Right.
But when I'm punching, I don't like these things right here.
The little side.
I don't like the tentacles on the side. But you see, since that's attached, I might actually use this for punching too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you could Texas rig that and drag it along rocks or underwater brush. That'd be fantastic.
Something else that might even be better for punching is right here. And this is kind of, the bandwagon nowadays for early season, the red stuff. It actually looks more red without this camera. Now here it kind of looks really orange.
I see some red tint to it. Is it two color or is it solid?
Boy, I'm looking at it. It has some pepper flake in it, but I think it's solid.
It is? Okay.
But you can see the pepper flakes and.
Well, the angle on it makes it, when you take the light off, it looks red, but with the light on, it looks orange. So, maybe that tint color is made that way for bass to pick up that darker red.
I would throw this thing Texas rigged right onto a bed,
Yeah.
You had some other things you wanted to show too, didn't you?
Yeah, just real fast. I was looking for something, but I'm super slow. We've talked on this program before about Roman made glide baits.
My goodness.
This is an older bait that I have. This is a Roman made. It's a trout. This thing probably weighs 8 to 10 ounces.
How big is that?
It's beautifully made. It's hand carved wood. It's Roman made. I don't know.
Is that 11 inches long?
Yeah, I bet it is. I bet. Well, it's to my elbow to my wrist. So,
that might be 18 inches long.
No, here's a ruler. So It's 11.
Okay. I was
But
thinking 11, but
yeah, great Roman made bait, and they're famous for those glide baits, but they have started making plastics. And
no. Roman made makes plastics too?
this is a Roman made plastic, and it's called the Range. All the ranges are covered. It's got a flat bottom. It's got a fat head and a fat tail, but it also has this tiny, tiny tail right here. So if you're sitting on bottom, you're still going to get movement. You could
Wow.
fish this like a lizard. You could fish this like a worm. I think you could catch a couple fish on it, and when your plastic tears and you pull it right here, I think you can drop shot the end of this. I think this is a multi-water use, water range. Now, I guess that's why they call it the Range. I'm new. But this is Roman made. This is what they've come out with, some new plastics. I love that little bitty tail.
Yes. Look at that.
And this is a 6-inch.
Is that spade color? Is that spade? Is that
it's like a, they don't really say a color on here, but it's a dark green with some black pepper in it.
But is the tail spade shaped?
The tail is shaped, yeah. Let me try to hold it.
Turn it sideways. So.
Oh, it's round.
Round,
so
okay.
The bottom of the bait is flat, but the tail is still round. So, you might be able to top water this bait. I bet you could swim it. You could. There's multiple uses for this bait. I just got this. I haven't used it. I don't know, but I love the action of it and love the thoughts behind it. So that's Roman made. That's why I got out the big trout to show you, because you know that name. You're going to associate it with that bait. So, real fast, 3 other baits that he sent that I haven't been able to use. They're from Japan. I don't know if they're available in America. Cam Kasu Excel Mover. This is a 6.5-inch giant swim bait with good details in the body. Fat head, skinny body, fat butt, and a long tail with the paddle tail on it. It also comes with some weights inside, so you can weight it different ways. There's 5 to a pack. It's 6.5-inch. High pitch action and tight wobbling. So that's there. Yumu baits. Two of these. These are drop shot worms, I'm sure. Called the Wonder Crawler. Big body and that tiny tail on it. Big, long, thin. It's sinking, a 5.5-inch sinking worm. So lots of action on that. This again is a Yumu, AYUMU. You're going to see, I'm going to fish these. I'm going to go over them in the bait issue. This is called a Bug and Buzz. It's a big fat body with a paddle tail on the end, but the paddle tail is flat. Or you can open it up so that it's an open worm like that. Bug and Buzz. Big fat body. This is floating material, so you actually could use this for topwater, maybe a trailer on a buzzbait, something like that. So back to real fast. When I told you line specific, Duo did send me Seagar 6-pound line. If you're going to practice and spend time on the water and build confidence spy baiting, this line is the best. Don't go higher pound. Don't go lower pound. Tatsu Seagar 6-pound line. Don't tie a leader. Tie this. Use this straight to the spy bait. When you're spy baiting, use a medium action rod. Every rod's made different. Some mediums are super heavy. Some are super light. Find the right rod for spy baiting. Look at it. Go to Duo Realis, and read up on spy baiting. Subscribe to Bassin Magazine. We have some old issues about spy baiting and can get you information if you want. real fast, Jay. I know we're short on time. We went way over, and I'm sorry. I got a Monster Bass box, so I'm just going to go through it, guys. MonsterBass.com. You can save 10% on your first order with the code BASSIN10. This is going to be cool. I think it's going to be cool. I love it when I open a Lunker Hunt box. It's a roach.
A roach.
You know, they came out with that spider. That spider's amazing. This is a roach. Never seen a fire tiger roach, but super excited to throw it. I love topwater. You guys know that I do. So here's a Lunker Hunt finesse frog. This is kind of the hook style I was talking about, Jay. You see that right there? The hook goes through and comes out the body of that lead hook. Mustad makes a little bit different one, but this is the finesse frog. I think if you swim this, 2 inches under the water, make a wake with this, I think you should hold on because these feet are going to be kicking. It's going to look like a life frog swimming through the water.
Just don't freak out when a wake comes up in back of that when you're swimming at 2 inches under the water. Don't freak out. Wait till it hits.
And don't change your retrieve. You're waking this frog underneath the water, and a new wake comes up. Don't change your retrieve, or that wake will disappear. But hold on,
because that wake will then just pull it out.
Yes. I'm gonna open this just because it's cool to look at open. This is I guess this Monster Bass is a Lunker Hunt box, guys. What a value! Because these baits are not cheap. This is the Battle Beetle. I love this bug. It's a big old beetle. It's top water. It's another wake bait. There's the bill on it. You can see, and you do it on top of the water. Those feathers kick. That body moves, and it makes great sound. I thought that was always a cool. They make a Yappa bug, which is a soft body beetle, and it's like a poplar type bait. And then they came out with this hard body beetle. I'm not gonna get it back in the package. Another Lunker Hunt. Right now, you can use this. The reactor. It's a lipless crank from Lunker Hunt.
Okay.
Good wintertime bait. Cold water bait. Really year round. I mean, you can't really say that it's not a good year round bait. There's probably, besides a rooster tail style bait and a lipless crankbait, a rattle trap style bait, those 2 baits probably caught more fish, more species than anything else ever made. You can never go wrong with a popping topwater bait. This is the Crush.
Chugger?
Huh?
Is that a popper or a chugger?
Yeah, it's a popper. It floats. It's popping action. Lunker Hunt has great curves to spit that water and to make that.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
like the new age of the popper. Yeah.
With that, to me, if you can get your popper to make the roof underneath the water, to me, that's what attracts the bass. If I can make it that sound, I love it, and I know I'm going to get hit.
It calls them right in. Yeah. Particularly right after the bass get off their beds. Best time of the year to do that.
Yes. Lunker Hunt, the finesse craw. This is a 1/4 ounce craw. Comes with a head on it. You can bounce this up and down. You can actually fish this like a Ned rig and catch fish. Done it?
Wow.
And I'm telling you, another good bait for right now is the bento. That's a long-bodied swim bait. The plastic is great, and that tail on that long body gives it great movement. I actually throw an A-rig with these on it.
Wow.
And love it.
And remember, folks, the 17.03 and the 15.5.67, both on A-rigs.
A-rigs, guys. That did it.
A-rigs. So listen to Brad. Get the bento.
Monster Bass, Lunker Hunt. This month's box, guys. Jay, thank you so much. Guys, if you have any questions, ask on the podcast. Feel free to reach out to Jay and I. Subscribe to Bassin to see all the reviews of these baits coming up in the bait issue. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be huge. We are going to print on Friday with the rod and reel issue. You still have time to subscribe right now if you want the rod and reel issue. 75 manufacturers of rods Don't miss it.
75. Bam.
Bam.
75. And guys, Bassin Magazine. Bassin Magazine is the official magazine of the Weekend Angler. Guys, just like me and Brad. And man, tell you, we're just like you. So thank you very much. We're going to end the podcast with that. Thank you for tuning in to each and every one of you. Guys, it's Wednesday night. Make your plans now. Go fishing. You only get to do this once. Bassin Magazine, official magazine of the Weekend Angler.
Thank you, guys.
Good night. Good night, guys. Good night, Brad.